Hey everybody, it's Bust with Busted Strategies number 60. Jumping into another Crimson Vow Draft. Let's see what shows up here. So yeah, we'll see. I think a lot of the problem I've been having with this format here recently is it's just I've been letting our curve get kind of away from us. We started out like way too aggressive in this format, being in kind of the midnight hunt mindset, as to where you just had to hit a curve or you would get tempoed out of every game, and that just isn't important here. It's just such a more value oriented format. And so we switched like way to the other end of the spectrum to where just trying to go focus too heavily on the value stuff. And we need to land somewhere a little bit more in the middle in terms of how the curve falls and the value we try to generate. I think we'll be okay now that I'm feeling feeling like we're starting to get there. But we did open a Chandra. She's certainly not the most spectacular of planeswalkers to hit the formats, but I think opening her, we should be able to try and take advantage of this a little bit more, and then just try and be ultra red heavy. And so I'm okay with landing in any of kind of the red combinations to try to take advantage of this, but yeah, much better to hit it pack one than instead of like pack two or pack three. But it's kind of like unfortunate in this format. We'll come back to that. I was going to say, I think maybe we could wheel a Blood Petal Celebrant, or more likely we'll wheel a Flame Breather out of this. And the Flame Breather is actually kind of interesting, right? And that we could, we could chain together some spells and ramp some mana. Maybe we'll look to do something with these in Chandra, but no, this is like such a format to where like rares are so incredibly powerful. There's just so many rares in this format that just outright win the game for you. And Chandra, not one of them. I guess she's kind of close, but I mean, not even hitting land with her middle +1, exile the top card of your library. If it's red, you can cast it. It's a little unfortunate. But here, we'll take the Abrade. I do like Alluring Suitor, but the Abrade is kind of premier removal for us. Again, nothing I would suspect would come back out of this pack to us. This could be a land where we kind of like maybe land in Boros at the end of the day, but we're just like so heavily incentivized to take red cards here that we're going to go for that. And one that's kind of interesting is Daybreak Combatants. I do actually like the Combatants if we land in Boros. Just a great way to activate trainings, right? One of the big problems with training is it takes fucking forever to actually activate, right? You have to get your training dude down, and then you either have to wait another turn to attack with it. But the Celebrants let that just kind of happen immediately, and they also help with the training. So kind of interesting if that was to wheel. Also, Voldaren Epicure is fine. We're going to take our first Lacerate Flesh, though. Maybe we do just go for the Epicure. We'll get a Lacerate Flesh. I think I'm okay with this. If we're going to just like really be all in on playing red cards here, I think we want the Epicure. Now the Markov Retribution feels pretty good. We can focus extremely heavily on vampires here, so we could look for the starting combo of the Epicure, the 2-drop with first strike, and then the 3 costs that make blood tokens. Not like ridiculous powerful, but they're strong enough. Right, Markov Retribution. The vampires continue with Blood Hypnotist, where we had 2 cards coming back. We're not going to wheel this Reckless Impulse, but Blood Hypnotist is cool. Give me all them vampires. Another Epicure, but we'll take the uncommon and the Hypnotist here. Okay. So I guess we don't technically have to branch out. We could choose to play in the festivities, but I think that's a little bit too much. That's a little bit all in on the Chandra theme here. And so let's at least be real with these cards that we've picked up to this point. The Blood Crazed Socialite is fine. And so we look like we're firmly landing in the aggressive black-red blood style deck, and the Socialite into the 5 mana 4/4 Muldriftery kind of thing are quite strong. So I like what's happening here. We could look towards Groom's Finery. I can't bring myself to play in the festivities, but I think realistically, are we just going to end up in black-red or black-white? You're not going to land in white or red-white. Maybe we could. Like, the Fleeting Spirit is fine in these kind of aggressively centered decks. I was going to say, I'm kind of somewhat interested in blue-red, but I don't think that's going to be the case here today. Late Sigarda's Imprisonment. Okay, okay. I think I want to find a world where we play Wedding Invitation. I just don't. I don't think this is it. Let me pick up the piercing. Well, we don't have any 2-drops up to this point, right? I guess if we land in white, we do have 2-2-drops that we could end up playing. But let's see how that goes. Very late Siphon Essence as well. Let's at least take the white card out of here. Do we ever Nurturing Presence in a Boros deck? Maybe. I don't think we ever play Beguiler in this deck, though. Not the well. I guess we're getting Beguilers whether we want it or not. And then okay. So back to our question of do we ever just play blue-red as we open Mirror Hall Mimic? I mean, I haven't seen anything that makes me really want to do that. So I think we just kind of let this go. You don't have any like real combos for it anyways. It is good. I mean, just making a copy of the best unit on the board is always strong. But I think with this one, we can just look to take the Flame Blessed Bolt. None of these red cards wheeled in the first pack, which was kind of suck, but I think the bolt is fine. Here's an Abrade. Kind of interested in this Hopeful Initiate. He's not that hard to turn into a 2/3, but we'll just take the Abrade. Nothing wrong with an Abrade. Oh boy, what a treat! What? A 4th pick, Olivia's Attendance? It's insane. This card is insane. This is one of the most bonkers rares in the format. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna complain about that. Okay. So that was a nice little treat for us. So red is most certainly open. I mean, I guess you could look to take like an Abrade over the Attendance, but can't imagine what happened in that pack to where the people downstream just aren't playing that much red. Okay, anyways, well, back to what's happening here. I think we need to just get the appropriate curve filler out of this one and look at either the Rimebang Wolf or the Hungry Ridge Wolf. And the Runebound Wolf, I don't think I've ever activated in this format. I think I'm never, not once. And so I'm going to pick the Ridge Wolf. Just there, if we end up with 2 Ridge Wolves, when we can, realistically get him to be a 3 power attacker. Okay, do want some Sure Strikes. I would like to get 2 combat tricks into this deck. There is the likes of a Grizzly Ritual here, but given the way pack 1 went, I just don't think that we're going to land in black. Now we get an Odric. This is about where Odric belongs. This is not a particularly powerful rare, but a 3/3 for 3 is a good deal. And if he generates a single blood token, that's also a pretty good deal. Another Blood Hypnotist in here as well, but okay. I think we're pretty certain we're just going to be playing red-white. Let me get these lined up here a little bit. The Beguiler, we're not going to play. Nurturing Presence, probably not going to play. Hang on to this Imprisonment. Wanted to play black-red, but I don't think it's going to happen. Okay, so we can look to Blood Servitor just as a way to generate blood tokens. Again, probably not going to play it. But otherwise, nothing in this pack whatsoever. We most definitely aren't playing blue or green. Okay, then how do we feel about a draw 2 as opposed to the Alluring Suitor? I mean, we're going to be pretty heavy in red. I mean, at the end of the day, if we were the only white cards we were playing were like Odric and Sigarda's Imprisonment, I would feel pretty happy with where this deck has landed. It's just the early part of our curve is the pain point right now. I'm not sure if we'll be able to pull that off, but we're pretty well set for 3-drops now. Just anything else in the curve is what we need to try and line up. Weird Prisoner, not a huge fan of, but it has a place. Second Sigarda's Imprisonment. Okay, well, I could see playing a Griffwing Cavalry, picking up our Weary Prisoner for the attack. Not that bad. That bad. And then the Rimebound Wolf tabled. Oh. That's how we're going to get Trample on the Ridge Wolf, so we get the blood token off of Odric. We've got all the combos. Extremely late Grizzly Ritual. It should not be a 13th pick. That's very weird that we were, interested in playing red-black, but then the cards just didn't show up. And then we get 14th pick Grizzly Rituals. But interesting set here. There's Voice of the Blessed. This can be incredibly powerful, but it's a double white, and the source of this power comes out of having Traveling Ministers, and we just don't have any of those up to this point. I'm just looking to pick the Abrade out of this pack, so we're not out here just like murdering our mana to try and get this double white 2-drop into our deck. Because I think, I mean, the Griftwing Cavalry costs 4, and then the Sigarda's Imprisonments can be played, pretty late in the game. If we're playing Sigarda's Imprisonment on 3, we're doing something wrong. And so I think a Braid here is okay, and it's not a big loss out of the Voice of the Blessed. If we had a second one, though, that would have been interesting. Like just the value of something like Panic Bystander just shoots so super far up. But our first Celebrants is where this pick is going to go. Okay, so yeah, just the bottom end of the curve is all we really need at this point. Here's the Traveling Minister for the double spirit picks. But interesting one here. I don't feel like we really need Lacerate Fleshes with 3 Abrades. And I would like to I would really like to get cheaper cards into our deck. I think the Traveling Minister will be okay. Because I'm not really wanting to add any more 3-drops. And maybe we even table like the Daybreak Combatants. I think this is fine in the Minister. So we pick what a bonkers set of cards we could have gotten out of pack 2. The double Spirit into double Traveling Minister. We could have totally pulled that off, but not where we're at today. Not today. So I would like the Reckless Impulse, but we need this curve filler. Our deck tends to be a little bit on the aggressive end of things, and so we need the early plays here. There's a Reckless Impulse for us. Happy to pick up a draw 2. It's definitely going to make the cut. Okay, so with this, I don't want Pyre Spawn. I only want 1 6-drop in our deck, and nothing is going to outclass Olivia's Attendances. Do we want a Ridge Wolf or an Epicure? And we don't really have blood combos in here. So we have some vampire cards, like we do have the 1 Markov Retribution, but I think this is just a Ridge Wolf out of this one. Yeah, you're gonna make it. Okay, second Sure Strike. I think this is where we want to be. We can like make some usage out of something like Parish Blade Trainee, as we have like 2 Blood Hypnotists. I could see it very easy for us to get this thing in on an attack, but I think I want our second combat trick here. Okay, Celebrants number 2. Perfect. Let that Harsh Retribution go. We have enough kind of catch all removal spells. We'll take the Lantern Bearer away from whoever could make use of that. Oh man, that would have been so insane. I guess whoever picked up the 2-cost Spirits probably was the one that let the Panic Bystander go. But oh man, if we'd picked up those 2 Spirits, the Traveling Ministers, and then wheeled that the Panic Bystander, it would have been pretty crazy. All right, don't think we'll play any of this. I'll just add the Militia Rallier. We've already got our appropriate number of 3-drops here. Okay. And so yeah, like the thing that I was really looking to kind of like pick up with in these drafts and things I'm looking to do on the way forward is the way the curves tend to be kind of okay would just be like real easily to look at as like 5 4 3 2 1, right? You have 5 2s, 4 3s, 3 4s, 2 5s, and a 6. That seems to work in this format. It would have to adjust, based on the format. That wouldn't work in Midnight Hunt, but being on the more aggressive end of things, if we take out a 4-drop and add in a 2, then that seems pretty reasonable. And so I'm kind of happy with how this played out. We could even look to take out the Weary Prisoner. I don't think we're going to get too much usage out of this. He's a little bit slow with what we're trying to pull off. Just not a guaranteed flip. We can kind of take advantage of these in terms of it's easy for us to pass since we have so many Abrades. We can like pass and just cast spells on our opponent's turn, but I don't think that's where this deck wants to be. So I'm going to go ahead and get that out of here. The Blood Servitor can go. We pick up 1 more 3-drop. No, we got the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Odric. Okay, I think that's good. Let's get these split up now and see where else we can go. Some of these early plays we're going to take out. The worst of these would be the Vampire Slayer. So I think he can go. In terms of blood tokens, I feel like we didn't find any of the early vampire generators for our blood hypnotists. Like we just have the Epicure and the Odric. So I kind of wish we would have picked up that Epicure in that other pack now, just so we could try and take advantage of the hypnotist. But I think it kind of is what it is. This is where we're at. So let's see. I can take out one more creature and feel okay about it. I think I want to hang on to most of this. Oh man, yeah, the blood token generation just feels a little bit off. We can most certainly do it late. We just have trouble making tempo plays with it. Maybe the Epicure does go. And then we're just looking at the Hypnotist as like a 3/3 for 3 that we can maybe activate later. Or otherwise we're just taking out like Rhinebound Wolf. Let's take the Epicure out. Okay, so here I'm thinking like I like Markov Retribution. This should be able to just kind of like be a Wolf Strikey level removal spell with upside. You know, if we're able to get some width on our opponent, the +1 attack could be pretty relevant as well. I think I want to cut like one Sigarda's Imprisonment. I don't really want to cut any of these other cards though. Chandra has to stay. Maybe we do. Maybe we do cut the Markov Retribution. We don't have like a bunch of first strikers or anything to really take advantage of this with. Okay, you're out. I want to hang on to Reckless Impulse. All the Abrades. I do want to keep 2 Sure Strikes. We definitely need to be ready to win combats. So maybe we can come in and just like take out a white card. Just take out. I want to just take out Sigarda's Imprisonment, but I think that's a little greedy. We could just play 41. Let's just play 41. I've been doing that a lot when life gets too challenging. But okay, yeah, we got the tools here. That's so wild where we would have landed. I mean, you can't know that you're gonna get that spirit and then pass into the spirit. It's just, and then have the Traveling Ministers follow it up. That was pretty insane to see, but I in hindsight that would have been great. But whatever your chances are of having that happen, however many rares are in the set, like 100, so it'd be like one in 100 followed. I guess it'll happen like 1 in 100, right? You open it, and then in the next pack, it's just like a regular rare. Anywho's, let's see what we got here. No 2-drop, which is kind of unfortunate, but I think our hand is too bad to not play. Say, come on, 2-drop. Okay. That's not a 2-drop. All the colors. And spore crawlers are problematic. Nothing about this game is going right. And he makes no play. Oh, this just seems so bad. Let's add the Suitor. If he has a Syncopate, it's okay. I feel like this is just going to get countered. Just actual no play? Wild. Not real sure what's going on here. And he keeps highlighting his journal like he doesn't have anything to do. Okay. We get the big ramps this turn though. Oh, did we have to use that in combat? Hang on. Where did that go? Okay, you don't lose the mana as the phase end. End of combat. Oh, 2 main. Okay. We want to start with the Celebrant, so if he has a Syncopate, we can pay for it. And then we'll follow up with the Ridge Wolf. Alright, now we should be pretty well set in this game. We can shut down so many attacks with the double Hypnotist. Or shut down so many blocks. This is making me consider if we should put the Epicure back in our deck. Like, this is on turn 4, just being able to play another 3-drop and make something not block. Just huge. We don't have any abilities for Odric. Or Ga. He plays like Witch's Web. That's completely fine. I'd rather have the Hypnotist than Odric. Well, I guess we have Menace, right? Does Menace count? Alright, we got one. Do your thing, Odric. The flagship card of the set. Oh, poor guy. They made you so uninteresting. Doesn't have anything, right? Okay, it's like we're not about to get hit with the crab. The braid? I mean, we could make both of his dudes not block this turn. Okay, well, we just won. That's fine. We can just continue on the cycles. Oh, does this only work once? Oh, only once a turn. Oops. Alright, well, we didn't lose out on too much there. This Ridge Wolf attack should be safe. If he wants to take value blocks under the Ridge Wolf to just get domed, I'd say this seems more likely. We should have looked for a 3-drop. We had, or even a bear. Anything would have been strong. A little sloppy. I got excited about our bros. Oh wow. Oh god, are we fucked? Oh my god, just naturally hitting the hitting the 7-cost worm. Oh my god, now he's gonna gain 5. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. What a greedy line. We can hit our Paphicism here. Chandra. Does Chandra get a lethal? We hit for 6. Ah, that's fucking insane. Well, let's do the card draw. He can't block the Celebrants here, so we can at least take him down to 5. Or do we want to do the damage to face? Maybe we just go face. What can we hit? Bolt doesn't do anything. A Braid doesn't do anything. We could hit a Ridge Wolf, an Impulse. We have like 3, 4, 5 cards that we could play out of 23, so it's like a 25% chance. Let's just take the damage to face. What an absurd sequence of events.
Listen, pal, I'm with the Gatewatch, so you might as well give up already.
Just naturally hitting a Bramble Worm with Crothus. It's insane. Oh, great. Oh my god. This fucking game. So greedy. Well, I guess it's not that greedy anymore after you've gained 11. Oh, he gets copies of it as well? Oh, what a fucking dumb game. Okay. Good job, guy. Well, that was exhilarating. It's like I already had one draft today. I made the video with it and just got too salty and threw it out. But it was like the 3 games that we lost. We lost a game to Edgar Markov. We lost a game to, like, the Edgar Markov game. There was just absolutely nothing we could do about it. We had a removal spell for him. We took him down in combat. He got the 3 tokens across 3 turns, flipped, and then there was just nothing we could do. We lost a game to, oh, what was it? I was trying to think. It's been so long now. I tried to like purge it from my body, but we lost one to. I can't remember. It was just like we got to like 2 wins, and then we lost a bunch of games to rares that we just couldn't do anything about. Getting upgraded? Sure. Alright, we did manage to find the land. That could be pretty big here. Let's get our suitor. Because, right, there's a world where next turn we need to play both Reckless Impulse and a Ridge Wolf. Okay, that seems positive. This doesn't have anything to do. This is slightly awkward if we try to like impulse and then hit a plains, but I think it's okay. Well, that was pretty good. This is just going to be a huge combo turn, right? We can attack with the suitor, flip it, get the 2 mana, sure strike something, and then follow up with our Celebrants in Exile. Not bad. We're building up to our ridiculous rare. So. Unfortunate. Alright, these Blood Hypnotists are looking good, though. May not need it. We'll see what they do. It'll be a good turn next turn either way. Like, if he plays a dude and double blocks our Celebrants and we get in with a Sure Strike, or if we attack with the Celebrants, no block, and then just play a second one, both of those are quite strong turns. I think we're going to get a good Sure Strike here. Let's see. Let's see what opponent says. Do nothing. All right. Oof. Seems okay. I mean, he hasn't played removal spells up to this point. If he just has a handful of dudes and spells, we're looking pretty, or dudes and lands, we're looking pretty strong. If he attacks, like, are we willing to trade a Celebrant for a combat trick? I think so. Beautiful. Feels like he's gonna have a trick of his own, but let's wear him down. It's a huge, huge if successful. Good. Now we should hopefully be free to get our attendance going if the game's going to go that long. Ooh, such greed. Such greed. Going to 6 with a Hypnotist and a Menace unit on board. Alright, well, let's see where that gets us. We can currently just kill off 2 of his units with the Attendants. That still leaves us with mana to do a no block. And the Celebrants and the Attendants have Menace. So he's going to need to have drawn into something pretty juicy here. Okay. Didn't use his Visionary. Oh man, I forgot what it might feel like to get to play your ridiculous rare. Okay. Oof. What do we got? Can't play our Chandra, but it's a reasonable curve nonetheless. He's not. It doesn't really feel like a hey, play me on turn 3 kind of champion anyways. Although I guess she does kind of ramp us a little bit. Maybe she is. I'm going to go with the Wolf. I don't want to play the Spirit and then have it just have to trade with Lantern Bearer. Okay. I guess if there's ever a creature to get targeted with Fear with Death, that's a pretty good one to have to take the hit. He's still I don't want to call him relevant, but he's got an ability. I guess we can say that. He's got an ability. Can't Chandra like deal damage to a creature? It's a oh, guy has Chandra as well. So we can still attack with both units and flip our suitor here. How big is your neg? 2?
professional at saving Innistrad by now.
Okay, then I'm actually going to abrade this Wandering Mind. I want to be able to say Flame Blessed Bolt in the event that we need to either kill off this Lantern Bearer because it's being ridiculously attacking into Chandra, or we can actually send a Flame Blessed Bolt to Chandra. Flame Blessed Bolt, what's this other one? Another Lantern Bearer? Okay. It's pretty tempting to take this one down. It was a very weird Reckless Impulse, I thought. Like, I guess the Dancer has Trample, so his Chandra is not super safe, but like an odd way to go about it. Is it red? Oh my gosh. Better. give me a taste of them better lucky than goods. Just a little taste of the better lucky than good. Say I got all the rares, my man. All right, enjoy. This is what it feels like, huh? This is what it feels like to have good rares. Feels like it's been years. I don't think I've drafted a good rare this entire format. Why is Chandra dressed to kill? I don't get it. It seems like a pretty standard outfit. Is this the wedding outfit of some sort? Does Chandra show up at the wedding and then just set everybody on fire? That's that's not cool. Let's say that's frowned upon. Doesn't have any helper text. You gotta let me know what's happening. This is our avatar here. Well, opponent's still in the game. They're touching stuff, so got him. Right. Victory, it's ours. So yeah, I mean, that was extremely lucky hitting on the just actual any red card with Chandra there. It's without having some kind of like brainstorm effect or some way to manipulate the top of your deck. It's a pretty weak ability. I don't get why her first ability can't just hit a creature. Oh boy. This we can't keep this. We're only gonna have like, even if we get like 2 draws at a mountain, you're something like 20% to hit that, right? What's our mountain count in here? 9. So it's like 9 out of 33. That'll be like a 25% chance or so twice. Yeah, it's not good enough to risk. Much better. And I see hands like this, and it's like, do we even want to keep Chandra? I don't think so. I like to start with mountains. It makes them question if we're going to Flame Blessed Bolt something on the first turn. I guess it's not going to do it because we're auto passers, but The suitor, depending on what happens next turn, if we get to attack with both, it gives us a trample unit, so we can activate Odric. Things are happening. Oh, we're gonna get the monster curve this round. Oh, this is beautiful. Give me all them ramps. We got a trample. We got the 2 mana. We get to play all of our cards. Feels good, man. Feels good. Uh-oh, he's reading stuff. If his turn is a bleed dry, this feels extremely good for us. Wrecked. Alright, that was a feels good game. Feels nice to get some of these in here. This format has been brutal to me. Alright, 3 wins. Maybe we'll take this one the whole way. Odric putting these big draws out here. Yeah, that's Chandra. Just wanted nothing to do with Chandra that game. it's so wild with the. I mean, it feels like she should like cost 2 mana, or she needs to do the point of damage. What do I know? Not a bad start. Okay, I'm not trading a Sure Strike for a Lantern Bearer, and I want to get this Alluring Suitor flipped. So we got this draw again to where we can attack with the Suitor and then Sure Strike. We'll see. I'm pretty tempted to like make this attack and then just throw the Minister away. Spore Crawler makes it change a little bit. So let's see what they do. We're not going to Sure Strike out of this. If he trades, I'm okay with it. We can just follow up with Odric now, or would we rather follow up with Chandra? Huh. I mean, this is probably like safe as a board is going to get to drop her, but we realistically just want the dude, right? Another still usable dude. This can only block creatures with flying, so we don't have to worry about it here. And then Chandra just immediately got worse. Immediately. I mean, I guess she can +1 here. Take some of the attacks from the Cipherbound Spirit. Maybe that's as good as it gets. Like if we play Chandra +1, discard a Traveling Minister, like we can use the blood token here. I got Syncopate, fine. Fine, dude. It says 4, is it going to be a 6? Alright, we can answer that. Very obvious we have a Sure Strike. The most obvious it could be. But we're real close to lethal now. Okay. think, unfortunately, he's going to have a blocker every turn for the rest of the game. And now we got to start throwing sure strikes into binding geist. This sucks. we're not having fun anymore. And all right, we can't recover this. Boo. Feels like Chandra just wasn't even worth playing. All right, let's go. Let's take this one to 4. So what do we got? All mountains. That's probably a reasonable keep. It's not a great hand if we don't hit our 2, but it's still fine. Getting the Abrade in there. Opponent took a long time on that one. Let's see what kind of sketchiness they throw at us here. Nothing? Keep a one-lander? I've seen like 2 one-landers in the past like week. It's been really weird. I didn't think you could get a one-lander in best of 1. But I know I've seen them multiple times now. It's been pretty strange. I think I even kept one of them. I don't quite remember. I think this guy's annoying, right? Can't block. When he deals combat damage to a player, make a blood token. And you sacrifice 2 blood tokens in returning. I'm just going to go ahead and kill it. We're not going to get the time to play this Abrade. I'm sure he'll get it back for some kind of value before the game is done. But let's just go ahead and get it out of here, right? If we're going to play the Hypnotist this turn, like an Alluring Suitor next turn, we're just not going to have the time to get that dum-dum off the board, and he's going to be hitting us for like 6 damage. This attack is free. Okay, brings in the block, sure thing. Okay. Not bad. So we can drop the Celebrant. Let me go ahead and hold control. I assume that the game's going to come in here and try and mess this up for me. So we'll attack with both. We attack with 2. This flips our dude. Give me some of those manas. Now I want to blood token. Okay, so it's like we could have just gotten a couple of good blocks out of this. We would have been trading our Dancer for his wedding security and then killing off the Gluttonous Guest. Well, that's going to be good next turn. No blocks. That seems extremely greedy. How scared of this should we be? Is he just going to drop a big dude? If he plays like a 6-mana removal, don't care. Okay. Now, if he has like the +2/+2 indestructible here, this is going to be problematic. Problematic to say the least. But if we get to take down the guest and then follow up with the cavalry, that gives us a pretty big turn next turn. He's stopping. He's going to 2+2/+2. Yep. Wonder why he killed our... Well, I guess it kind of makes sense killing the Blood Hypnotist. So he's going to be threatening lethal next turn. How do we feel about that? I guess we have to wait and see what we draw. Braid? I feel safe with the braid. Okay. So we have the Runebound Wolf to technically block his wedding security. Well, I guess we do die to a removal spell, right? He can hit with everything and just kill us. That's a... we have the Abrade to kill the Blood Crazed Socialite, but he still hits us for 9. Oh man, he's going to give the wedding security lifelink. Getting killed by a wedding invitation feels bad, man. Yep. So where are we at? We can do this. We have the Abrade here. So that'll only take us to 1. He's going to go up to 12. We only have 6, 7, 8 damage. Not sure if we have a way to do +4. And he has a dude. Oh, he just kills us with this, right? Target player. Okay. And that's what it is. We could have left more blockers back, but I don't think we ever win the game that way. Damn. It was like the Chandra just felt like a dead draw literally every game. So I knew that Chandra wasn't that great. I don't think we have ever had the chance to play her, but not something I'm interested in doing in the future. Alrighty, let's take a moment. We'll get this deck pulled up real quick. All right, so here we go. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's not a deck wherever, in terms of trying to just draft towards Chandra, it's realistically not a deck we'll ever piece together again. You can't count on finding a mythic, and so trying to be as mono red as possible to take advantage of Chandra, is it worthwhile? No. Like, I still wanted to give it a shot, but even, you know, the way I kind of look at it is, even if your deck is 100% red, you can like see the numbers at the bottom of the thing, like whenever you draw your land. So right at the start of the game, you usually have like a 43% chance to draw a land or so. And so that would mean, you know, on the flip side, you're going to have like a 57% chance to draw a card whenever we use Chandra. And so just using this naturally, like if our game plan is to use the card draw off of Chandra over and over again, you're at best going to be hitting like every other turn, and so that's just not even worth a card in this format. There's just so many draw twos. There's so much value in the blood tokens, just not really worthwhile. And so she needs like a little bit more to be interesting in this format. She needs her initial +1 to be able to hit creatures. She needs her second +1 to be able to play land. And so it's just kind of turdy for Chandra in terms of dealing a damage to a player and getting a red mana isn't that exciting. And then just the random card draw thing isn't that great either. Like, it doesn't feel like it would be overpowered if, you know, you could play a land off of her thing. And so if you don't have ways to manipulate your deck, whether that's so some way to like surveil or some way to put cards on top of your deck, that however you would choose, then she's not really that worthwhile. And so otherwise, Chandra aside, this would just be kind of a standard Boros deck. I have found with these decks, it tends to be like really easy to get Blood Hypnotists, and then you're really just kind of looking to be this early game aggressively centered deck, and we pulled that off fairly well. In terms of Boros, the things that I do like to look for and find would be I like the training flyers, and so the 2/1 Griffin for 3, and then the likes of Griffwing Cavalry I think are good because the outside of the Falconwrath Celebrants, there's not a lot of good kind of late mid game to late game cards. There's not a ton of good like 4 drops, and then the Menace 5 drop is fine, but you don't have like a whole lot of options, and you don't beyond that you don't have a whole lot of evasive options. And so it's like I do like the Blood Hypnotist, I do like all of the Menace Bros, but this feels like a deck that you just kind of like accidentally fall into, like we did here, as to where you're trying like really hard to just be mono red, then white seems to be super open, and then you just manage to pick up a handful of white cards to slap into your mostly mono red deck. And then if we had managed to pick up like the Boros Vampire 4-cost flyer thing, then fine, it would fit in here okay. But it's not what you're really looking to try and do. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I thought this turned out fine. We had good removal spells in the Abrade and the Flame Blessed Bolt. You are looking to have a couple of combat tricks and things like Sure Strike, just because you are ultimately so aggressive in the early game. You just have to have some kind of ways to win combat. But otherwise, this is one of the weaker decks in the format. I'm not trying to preach this as being something particularly strong. It is one of the weaker decks. It's just, if you're in red and the red cards dry up, you have to find something else to do. It's kind of like if we got to be in red-black, this would be completely okay. That's what we were looking to do with the Menace Vampire out of black would have solved a lot of our problems, but we weren't able to really get any of the good black cards rolling, and we missed out on a lot of the early game in Boros as well. So it was kind of a turd. It's pretty telling though that when you're getting into pack 3 and there's like a bear that you're just like really excited to want to draft, but you know that you can't do it. Like that's how bad your deck is. So the rares aside, I mean, getting blown out by the rares is always unfortunate, but kind of is what it is with this format in those terms. But yeah, this is certainly not a high quality deck, and a 50% win rate feels about right. I thought we could have gotten to 4. We did keep that sketchy mountain only hand and then get punished for it, but all in all, not that strong. So yeah, this was interesting. I mean, I think realistically, if you're out here drafting this on your own, I think the pick is either like the Twin Blade Geist, depending on how much you like Disturb, or the Archghoul of Thraben. This is in general a pretty weak pack, right? There's no removal spells in it. The red cards all suck. The black cards are non-existent outside of the Archghoul. You're not starting with a Repository Scab. It's like, do you want to play a removal spell? Then you can take the Imprisonment. Do you like to force Disturb? Then you can take the Twin Blade Geist. Or do you want to be in black? Since black or red would be the ideal places to start. Then you can take the Archghoul. Chandra is, I feel, worse than all of these three. If green white was so bad, I would say Chandra is worse than the Paladin. At the end of the day, I would have rather had Blood Petal Celebrants in our deck than Chandra, and so it was nice to get to try out the Mythic and really try to build around Chandra. But I think that's spot on. At the end of the day, I would rather have Blood Petal Celebrant, which is not not a good indicator to the strength of Chandra. But as we continue on with Chandra, we did pick up an Abrade. I don't think we wield this alluring suitor, but we did pick one up. It's quite strong. If we had started out with anything else, I'm not sure. I don't think we would have picked up the Abrade. Right? If we started off with the black card, we'd take the Parasitic Grasp. If we started off with the blue-white cards, or the white cards, then we would still look to the Parasitic Grasp, right? White-black is a real deck where Boros isn't. And so I would have had some interesting choices here, but I think trying to be in mono red, the Abrade is pretty easy. The same thing applies here. I wish we would have put this Epicure in our deck. it would have made for, that's like a pretty reasonable curve, right? If you have the Epicure on one, and then on turn 4 you're either able to play the Blood Hypnotist, or if you already had it in play a different 3-drop and then cycle the Blood token. The Epicure plays into that nicely. That's where I think this deck kind of went poorly. We were hoping to say like wheel the Blood Petal Celebrant, or even like the 3-cost thing. I'm not a huge fan of the 3-cost Geist with Trample, but it would have certainly helped a lot in these terms, right? If you're able to play any 2 into Blood Hypnotist, and then the 3/2, well, you have to do it kind of the other way, right? The 3/2 has to connect for damage to get the token, but right, you have ways to kind of get these tokens going, and we didn't have the ways to get the early blood tokens, but I still think this was okay. Lacerate Fleshes you can usually pick up pretty late, and this is really kind of like dropped down in my books, and so I'm not amped about these. I'll play a copy if we need to, but I think the Epicure is fine. Here we didn't play Markov Retribution, but we also didn't have the early vampires to make this extremely worthwhile. We could have most definitely had boards to where this was just dead in our hand, and so I would have liked to have seen this make our deck, but didn't quite do it. Blood Hypnotist over the Impulse is fine. Blood Hypnotist over the Epicure is fine. And then here's where we're starting our first take outside of red. And as we look to be in kind of the blood token red deck, the Blood Crazed Socialite feels pretty good. But then from this point forward, the black cards just didn't make an appearance. The white is looking to certainly be open. So I think that was fine. Things continue into pack 2. Mirror Hall Mimic would have been fantastic if we landed into Disturb or into blue-black, but we're still trying to play mono-red out here. And so that didn't make the cut. Easy ones with the Abrades. This third pick, Olivia's Attendance, was a little wild, especially considering that there were 2 commons taken over this, but it was, lucky for us. We won every game we cast it, and so that was a treat. The Wolves package, and yeah, I think this was a pretty straightforward draft as we were looking to take advantage of Chandra. We were very easily falling into red-white. Things like Odric are just showing up. I think we were in a pretty decent place. I think we would have ended up with a really strong deck in something else, probably in Disturb. If out here in the first pick we had just started with one of these cards, in all realisticness, I would have liked to have started with the Twin Blade Geist here, and I think that would have worked out fine. Like if we start, the way this would have kind of gone for me was like we would have started with the Geist. I would have probably taken the Parasitic Grasp second. Coming into this pack, then we start to say, look at Gutter Skulkers. You could take the Skull Scab, but starting with the Disturb card first, I would be heavily incentivized into this Gutter Stalker, and then into pack here. Not a real strong one. You're probably looking at the Dormant Grove. That would be the best card out of the pack, and we're still not really solidified into anything. And here, this is how we always end up in green, right? We would take the Dormant Grove, we would land on the Weaver of Blossoms. This Drogskull Infantry would still draw us back towards the Disturb cards. We'd have 3 pretty decent Disturbs at that point. Then we'd go into Cruel Witness. The Fleeting Spirit would be fine. And then the Sigarda's Imprisonment would really lock us into blue-white. Yeah, I think this would have been a pretty good Disturb deck. We would have had the Mirror Hall Mimic in pack 2. And then all around been pretty strong at the end of the day. And, this is, again, would have been a very big high roll, but we would have high rolled into the double Voice of the Blessed and followed it up with the Traveling Ministers and had that really sick deck together. And so we didn't do it today, but nonetheless, we got to give Chandra a try. And that was that. So let's crack these packs. Looks like we got about a whole box of them's worth. And then we'll call it a day. Oh, Faceless Haven, you're playable. You get to go and doing some mono white out there in Constructed. Fancy looking Duress. All right, and so yeah, as we get these packs cracked, this format just like really isn't doing it for me. I don't know if it's just because we're not being ultra successful, or just because I don't really like it, or what the deal is. But I'm considering just like switching over and starting to play more and more Constructed. Like I'm gonna crack if I try and just stick to this format forever. It's just the combination of it being like a mid-rangey format, which is fine, but then an incredibly bomb-heavy format. It's just like there's always at least like one or two games in every match to where it feels like, you know, things are going well and good, and then your opponent is able to play a card that just completely ends it out of nowhere that you can't do anything about. And ultimately, I like loved Midnight Hunt. I would not be having any complaints. I would still just be fine playing Midnight Hunt now. But this one is really grinding away at me, and so I'm considering switching into some more constructed over the next few weeks. It's a bit unfortunate in terms of the big monthly like Grand Prix style tournament is draft next month, and I was really looking forward to grinding and preparing for that. But then just having this format just grind away at my soul has been kind of painful. And so I don't know if I just need to take like a break away from this draft format for a couple days and play constructed, or see if there aren't other draft style things to jump into. It's like I don't want to just come out here and draft Zendikar Rising though, because I don't know anything about the format and it's kind of old now. And so we'll see. I would suspect that there'll be some constructed coming up in our future, just because this format it's tough. It's tough. I've just not been having fun with this limited format, and so uh, we just got to make it a little bit over a month, and double feature will be out, and maybe it'll be okay. But I can't feel like I'm going to continue playing the four drafts during the week, and then the drafts on the weekends as well. And so we'll see. I think constructed is where we're going to be pushing our way, but I haven't fully decided yet. I'm going to have to get versed in the constructed cards before we start making videos for it. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the draft. You maybe learned how bad Chandra is. You learned a thing or two along the way. Had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.